Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to all the organizers of the Joomla Day DACH. I'm very happy that I have the opportunity to speak today for 2 sessions, but I'm very sad I could not be there in person because I must say this is my favorite Joomla Day. So the topic of this session is view transitions in CSS. So I will share my screen, my whole screen, so that we are sure that we don't bother with the details. Okay, and maybe I turn off my camera during the session. I propose, for practical reasons, because I'm not in the room itself, that we keep the questions for the end. It will be easier. Normally, I prefer immediate interaction, but here I don't see you, so it's a bit more difficult. So let's have a look at view transitions. Maybe you have noticed something new if you have already played with Joomla 6. It's the fact that our friend Hans Kuipers from the Netherlands has introduced one little CSS line for Atom, the administrator backend, template for the backend, sorry, and also for Cassiopeia. One line of CSS. And what is the difference? Actually, he has implemented view transition. So if the connection is good enough, is showing here in his pull request the backend before. So before, when you would click on any link, the page would reload, right? Normally, the way you have always seen it. So it's just a page reloading. And now with view transition, you will see that it becomes smooth. There is a little fade out, fade in effect, right? And this is just made, there is no JavaScript, no tricky framework, whatever. It's just one line of CSS. And it makes the interface, maybe I can play it again. It makes the interface smoother. It's more, once you have tasted it, of course, afterwards we will see how to make it faster or slower, whatever, or change the animations. But once you have done that, you have the feeling that it's more pleasant to work, right? There is less stress. It's just smooth transition. So let's see that with a practical example, and then step by step we will improve our example. When I first made, it's not this screen, it's this screen. When I first made this session, it was at Joomla Camp in Essen, the unconference in Germany. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was not seeing that. Which window do you see? How can I do that? I don't know. Maybe is this better? I don't know. Is it now full screen for you or not? Okay. Yeah, I never use Google Meet. I use open source softwares. Uh, just a joke. Let's see this in practice on this website. On this website, it's live, so you can go. It's a kind of work in progress with a little word of explanation. So it's storage.woluweb.be. Then let's go from the home page, for example. Oh, this was the home page, okay, to the login page. And here I have exaggerated the transition. Instead of a few milliseconds or, I don't know, half a second or so, I've set it to 2 seconds so that we really see what we are talking about, right? I hope that my internet connection is good enough when I share my screen here, because I'm not at the office. So you see, this is very soft by default. So how is this done? Just very easy. I go to the CSS. I was saying it's one line of CSS. Okay, let's make it one line technically, right? So it is, maybe I should zoom a bit. How do you zoom on that? Wait, I never zoom. View. Is it big enough for you? Oh, maybe appearance. Yeah, zoom in. Okay, so it was right. So the one line of CSS that you put in your general CSS, here it's in my custom.css file, is view transition and navigation auto. And that's it. Then, actually, as you see, I've added something, is that for accessibility reasons, if some people have set up their computer to have a minimum of animations, movements, etc., because I don't know, they don't like it, or maybe they have issues with it, then actually we add a line to say, okay, we will do this transition only if the user has not disabled the animations, right? So this makes our little effect here. And actually, how did I change the default option? Normally it goes faster, but I have said that we would make it last 2 seconds. So this is the view transition group. And I say root because root will say it applies by default for the whole page, for the whole website in this case. And I say it's 2 seconds. Now, if I change this to half a second and I save and I upload, of course, and I refresh my page here, yeah. Now I have the same transition, but which is more okay, normal. 2 seconds, of course, in production would be too much. But I'll switch it back to 2 seconds for the demo purpose. That's the first thing. And afterwards, once you start to play with it, you think, oh, but you could do some stuff which are really nice. For example, instead of by default, we have a fade out, fade in, but you could call any animation. So for example, let's go back to the CSS file and I will say now by default, so for the root, for all elements on the page, actually with view transitions, what happens technically is that your browser is taking a screenshot before, a screenshot after of the whole page or of the different parts of the page that you have mentioned. And it makes a screenshot, and then there is the animation between two screenshots, so to say. So here I create two animations, one which is called move out, another one which is called move in, right? And I say that it will apply for everything. It will last for half a second. And the type of animation you can say that is, okay, you can change the, how do you call that? Is it progressive, constant, or easy in, easy out, blah, blah, blah. And this move in, move out is not standard. I could have selected one of the standard animations, but this is a custom animation that I've defined the classical way in CSS with keyframes. So I say, okay, what is move out? Move out means translate to the bottom, so 100 view height. And move in is the other way around. It is let's slide in from the bottom to its real place. So now that I've added this, I'll save it. So basically, we've just said that for the everything, we will have a slide effect instead of the fade in, fade out. I save it. I go back to the demo. I refresh my website, of course, so that it sees the new CSS. Now, if I go from the login page to the home page, you see, oh, the whole page is sliding. Every time I will go to another page, I don't know, smart search. Every time I have a slide effect. The old page goes to the top and the new page comes from the bottom, right? But if I would apply that on a website, whoa, even for me, that's too much movement because actually I would like only my content to move in or to move out. My header is always the same. My menu is always the same. So actually to improve on that, what we can do is to say, you know what? Um, we can add transitions for each element on the page. So if an element has an HTML tag, an ID, or a class, whatever, you target that element the usual way in CSS. So here it's a U theme, so the header is a header. And there is also the toolbar. The toolbar on U theme is the black here, the black bar at the top above the menu, the general menu. So here I'm saying, let's have a transition on header and on the toolbar. Sorry. I should not hover everything. And let's give a name to this transition. Let's give the name header and let's give the name toolbar. But actually, I have not defined anywhere what this animation will be. So the effect is that I say, hey, for the header, I want the header animation, but I have not defined it. So actually, it's a way to say, I don't want to have any animation. As long as I don't define the header animation, so I could have said blah, blah, and Toto, it would be just the same. It's something that does not exist, so it will not be animated. Right, so now if I save this, yes, and I go back to the website and I refresh the page. Okay, let's see if it works. Now I go to the login page. Yeah, I have my slide effect, but now my toolbar, my black toolbar and my menu bar stay in position. So this is much more intuitive and it's very funny because it gives the impression that I'm staying on the same page, right? While I'm changing page. So that becomes more interesting. So we have seen how to enable it, how to change the duration and everything, how to change the general animation on a page, and also how to exclude some elements from the animation. Now we will try something more funny. It is this. We will. What I want to do here is to. I think it's already ready. So I will click on it. It's easier than to show than to explain. You see here when I click on the image, it's a bit like when you're on an app on a smartphone, you have the impression that the elements stay on the page, while technically you're going to a different page. But given the fact that we have the same title on both pages and the same image, and this is something typical, right? Whatever the CMS. Here in Joomla, I have a blog view, so it has different cards, different articles, and each article has a title and an image and maybe a content. So actually, it's something that you could use on all your website, and it gives really, yeah, this app feeling that you're not leaving the page, you're just zooming in, zooming out to see the details. So how did we do this? Actually, here, what we've done, I should edit the page. So, sorry, I have to log in again. If I edit the page, right? templates, and I edit the page. So as written on the page itself, what I just did, I could have done it directly into CSS, but here, as a first approach, I had made it directly on the page itself. For the headline, I just added some CSS saying, okay, for this element, I want a view transition name, and I give it a special name, right? Call out title one. And I do the same for the image. For the image, I give it a view transition name, which is call out image one. And if on the page before and on the page after, I give the same name on the transition, then it knows, okay, this is the element before, this is the element after, let's make a transition for the image and a transition for the title. So indeed, if I open this, I have done the same on this view. The title here has the same view transition name, call out title one. And for the image, same story. I have put there the CSS directly view transition name, call out image one. So the only thing is that I give the same transition name to each element on the page before and on the page after. And I could have done it, I should have done it in the CSS file instead of writing directly on the page, but it amounts to the same. But each element has to be unique. And that's the thing. Otherwise, it will not know. If we give the same animation to two elements, the same animation name, it won't know what it should do. And when it does not know, it does not do. Do it step by step so that you are sure what you want. So this is how we have done it here to have this this effect, no matter the direction, if I go forward or backwards to the page. Then I can also improve further this. In my general CSS, I can also define this, like for each transition, the call out title one or the call out image one, and this was a test for another animation. But here, for each animation, so for each element, I can set a different duration and a different timing, and maybe also the Z index, just in case that two elements would cross during the movement. I could say, oh, this one should come on top of that one. Right, and if I do this, now what I'm saying is that the title will last 1 second, but the image will last 1 second and a half. And this will make, and I save here, yeah. And I go back to the website, I refresh. Right, and now if I do this, it's even more spontaneous with the new duration, which is different between the title and the image. And so this is just the start, because after that, you can invent yourself what you want, what kind of animation makes sense on your page, and what is the right duration to make it look spontaneous. The nice thing is that here it is a bit handmade, because if I had a website with a blog view, maybe every day there is a new article. I don't want to write every day, to hard code every day on the page itself or in CSS. This article 8, article 700, and every time to have to do that manually in the CSS or in the HTML to give the animation name. But I've started to think about it when I first spoke about that lesson. Youth is. We should, with the people who are interested, just contact me and we will investigate as soon as UTheme Pro 5 is released, which will be within 2 weeks before the end of the month, um, because the whole team is there in Freiburg. So I hope they will have good news for us, for the UTheme Pro users, at least. And so actually, a new feature of UTheme Pro 5 is that now you will be able to give an ID. Before in UTheme Pro, you could only give an ID to your whole grid. You could not give an ID, a specific ID to each card, to each element of the grid, of the block view, to each article of the block view. But now with UTheme Pro 5, it will be the case. So it means that what I've done here manually for one article, most probably, I still have to think exactly how, and we could do it together. Probably we could even automate that in our UTheme Pro template, saying, oh, you know what, in this grid, each card would get a dynamic ID like my image dash, and then the ID of the article, for example. And this way, we could really fully automate this animation thing further. I have, speaking of which, I'm saying that we could gather, maybe a good way to gather. There is some good news. It's just a little interruption, a little commercial in the presentation. At the last Joomla Day Netherlands, so 1 or 2 months ago, there was a nice session by Rachel Warraben about UTheme Pro. And after the session, I was thinking, I already know a lot, but I learned even more things during her sessions because of her and because of interventions of others. Was thinking, oh gosh, it would be so nice to have a Joomla user group UTheme. So not run by UTheme, run by users. And so the plan is to have a monthly meeting, different topics, sometimes for starters, intermediate or experts. And most probably the first meeting would be on the 11th of December. We still have to confirm that. But so, yeah, if you're interested in that, just keep in touch. But maybe the user group UTheme would be a nice place to discuss this automation of the animation, of the view transitions. And what I wanted to say last is that here it was a simple demo, well, simple, already quite advanced. But if you're interested in that, I've gathered here all the links which are very interesting. Like Bramus is a Belgian guy. I guess it must be a quality. It's a joke because I'm from Belgium as well. So Bramus has written a lot about that because it's his domain of expertise. So I've put different links, even to videos and other demos that he has done. So have a look at that if you're interested to implement that on your websites. So this is it for the presentation itself. If you have any question or any thoughts, please shoot. I'm not seeing the crowd. I'm just seeing a thing. So, okay. So I hope you will enjoy view transitions. Anyway, if you're using Joomla 6 without doing anything in the back end, or in Cassiopeia, if you used Cassiopeia in the front end, you already have it. Some people on the forum were, well, some people. One person on Joomla forum was saying, hey, I don't want this transition. Well, actually, it's just one line of CSS to disable it if you don't want it in Atom, the backend template, or in Cassiopeia. But yeah, I think it's a future, because with this you can have the wow effect with your customers. Because not many webs in real life, I've not seen, except the demos of Bramus, I've not seen that live on many websites, on no websites at all. But yeah, it's really the next level, I think. So thank you. And